You're listening to the Diagnosed Podcast, where every diagnosis has a story, and every story deserves to be heard. From survivors to loved ones, we explore the journey together with your host, Albano.
If you get value out of this video, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Let's get on to the video. So I'm going to start off by assigning character, let's say, or labeling. I think when we associate with people on a regular basis, we designate them with something. We know them as someone who is a party person, or someone who's the sports person, or however it is that we decide to label them. The closer they are to us in terms of family or friends, we kind of profile a little bit more. And some people, we find that they're mentors of sorts. They come at us with advice on life, advice on finance, whatever, and we kind of look up to these people as mentors. Sometimes these are the people who, every time you get together, they're the ones that want all the attention. You got so many different styles and characters of people out there. And you have some people that you look forward to hanging out with them. You look forward to seeing them because you know that when you see them, you're going to leave in a better mood than when you arrived to your engagement, let's say your dinner, your hangout time, whatever it was. And to me, that's who we're speaking with today, Bill. Bill, you're the latter. I mean, I don't know if I told you, or if I've never told you, maybe we have, but I know that whenever I hang out with you, whenever I see you, whether we're having dinner or we just get together, I know I'm going to leave in a better mood than when I got there.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for coming on, Bill.
Thank you for inviting me to share. My story, I know it doesn't involve cancer. My story is alcohol, but my story about alcohol and my addiction to alcohol was my cancer. I couldn't, it was a cancer to me. So yes, physically not a cancer, but a mental cancer, and a cancer that was always with me, always on my shoulder, almost like a monkey on your back.
Yeah, I can tell you this, Bill. I've only known you for, I'm going to say around 8 years or so. We obviously met because, we're extended family. Your daughter, so let's say this, your son-in-law is my brother-in-law. So basically my sister's husband is your daughter's, sorry, let me go back there. My wife's brother is your daughter's husband. So my brother-in-law is your son-in-law. And so I've probably known you around 8 years or so. Would you think, Bill, something like that?
Yeah. So yes, we're considered family.
Yeah. So about 8 years. And we happen to live in a small town. So by default, we ended up seeing each other and spending a lot of time together regardless. So
the only thing I know about being an alcoholic is how I drank. And the only thing I know about being sober was me getting into Alcoholics Anonymous. It literally saved my life, and a few other people that helped too.
Let me ask you this. Before you go into your rehab and all that kind of stuff, can you go back and tell me, prior to you drinking, I want to know what led you into this drinking. What led you down this rabbit hole? Was this something as a kid?
I'm going to take you back to high school. Grade 9, hanging out with 12 kids all the time, a group of us, 12 of us, hanging out together, being kids with alcohol involved, a bit of drugs. I was never a follower. I was in the group, but I always whatever the group decided, if we went to a party and we're drinking lots, oh, let's do this, let's do that. I always had a judgment of, no, I'm not going to go down that hole. I'm not going to do that. You guys go ahead, but oh, come on, Bill, it's fun. Anyway, we hung out together for high school. The years went on, people got married. I was the last one to get married to the group. Kind of lost contact with everybody. And prior to that, the high school drink, it was, I consider it now, but I look back and it's not. It was a social drinking kind of atmosphere. We didn't destroy things. Everybody had a good time. Everybody enjoyed each other. And it wasn't like throwing bottles out of car windows or anything like that. It was just a group, a good 12 of us, a good group that enjoyed drinking and a bit of drugs. And like I mentioned, down the road, we all kind of, everybody went their own way, separated. My drinking at that time, I'm going to say moderate, but after getting into the program, and I'll get into that later, it was more than moderate. Got married, had a couple of kids, still drinking, lived on a street where there was a lot of drinkers, always seemed to funnel that way to finding people that were, I always got involved with people that were drinkers for some reason, anywhere I went.
Yeah, Bill, I think what you're describing so far is not uncommon for most people. I mean, I remember going to school. I remember going to high school, and
Exactly.
actually, I remember being a young kid, probably 10, 12 years old, and when my uncles would come over with my cousins, or we would go to their place, or they would come to our place, whichever. I remember my dad, my uncles sitting at the table playing cards, and the kids, like myself, 8, 10, 12 years old, probably 10 or 12, running around with all my cousins. And I remember, it's hot. You're running around, you're playing, you're wrestling, you're boxing, whatever it is that you're doing, and it's hot, and you walk into the room where they're playing cards. My dad's got a beautiful Molson X or Labatt's 50 sitting on the table, and it's nice and cold. You can see the sweat coming off the bottle, and you're a kid, and you're hot, and you run by and you grab it. I'm drinking half that bottle just because I'm like so tired and exhausted, and it's refreshing, and I'm drinking it. That was pretty normal. I remember going to high school, and same thing like you're describing. I remember going into high school and having, like I was one of them, but grade 11, grade 12, some of the people are starting to drive. They're bringing coolers. You throw in some beer. It's lunchtime. You go outside. You have a beer or two. You go to class in the afternoon after lunch, and you're, you know, a little bit on the tipsy side. So I think those things are, for the most part, pretty normal. At least they were when I was growing up.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, as you just mentioned, as a child, my parents said we had a cottage up north, up in Lake Simcoe, and every weekend, all of the uncles and everybody were up there drinking their gin and tonic, playing cards, and water skiing and stuff. So that was the norm.
Yeah.
But looking back and talking to my grandfather was an alcoholic, and whether it filters down through the system as in the genes, I don't know. But as you just described, yes, as a childhood, up at the cottage, lots of drinking, and yeah. As I mentioned before, I got into a marriage, a couple of great kids. That's all I wanted. But that's it. I think at that point in my life, the drinking became a necessity to keep me fueled and to keep going every day. I kind of had that craving for, oh, I got my feet on the ground now. I just need that little edge to get me going. Now, whether that was my job not performing enough and I did great at my job, had great bosses who understood.
What were you doing at that time, Bill?
I was in plumbing, working for my uncle in the plumbing industry. There was a lot of drinking after work, at the bars in Scarborough. Um, I did a stint with in the gas industry and pipeline. There's a lot of drinking there, so I always seem to be involved in people and groups around me that drank. It was kind of like the norm. And like I mentioned, getting back to where I think it changed, and I it did change, is when we were in Mississauga in the house with the kids in the street of drinkers, and it became a craving for me to have that drink every day and to get going every day. And people used to tell me, Bill, you drink too much. Well, how can you people say that when I'm sitting here drinking with you? It
Okay.
doesn't make sense to me. What
Right.
you're telling me, if I'm drinking too much, maybe you should think before you say that, because I'm drinking as much as you are. But the thing about people, when they point to people and say, he's an alcoholic, he drinks too much. Yes, that's point. It's that's not the premise of the whole thing, though. It's it's what it's how it affects you when you drink.
Right. So what you're basically telling me is that it's not the fact that I'm having a beer and you're having a beer. It's that you're viewing that beer much different than I'm viewing that beer,
Absolutely, you
and
don't have
somebody
an.
can see that.
I can see you drinking beer, and I'm thinking you don't have enough beer in the house for me.
Right.
And just off the top a bit, back then in the mid 70s coming up to the 80s, the beer and liquor stores were closed on Sunday. That was a big dilemma for me, a big dilemma. I'm sitting in the garage with a half a bottle of vodka, and I'm thinking on a Saturday night, do I drink this now? Or this is how the ism of alcoholism thinks. And I know it, you have to experience it and be there. I'm sitting there with a half a bottle of vodka in the garage, hiding it away from my wife and children, trying to get this into me so I can feel better. And I'm thinking, this is the decision I have to make as um, a father was supporting a family. This is the decision I'm making. Do I drink this tonight or do I save it for Sunday? Because if I drink it tonight, I don't have any more for Sunday.
Bill, let me ask you this. Let me go back for 1 second because you said, so how old are you at this point? You're married. You have 2 kids, you just said. How old are you?
I'm, how old am I then? I'm in my 40s, 50s, in their 40s. Yeah. In the 40s. Yeah. Yeah. Around there. I've been drinking since I've been like 16. Heavily at the marriage end of it, very heavily, where you have to come to a point where you hit your bottom and say, you know what, enough. I can't do it anymore.
Well, Bill, let me just take you back for a second because I'm not connecting the dots here. So just help me out. So you said, so you were married and you had a couple kids. You're in your early 40s, let's say.
Yeah.
You started drinking in high school,
Yep.
and you also worked in the plumbing um,
And
business. And you said that people there were also drinking, and it was
yes.
pretty regular and common to see people drinking, and you were drinking.
Yep.
How did you only start notice? Like, what happened in your 20s and 30s that this didn't manifest itself, and it only did in the 40s? Where
I
where
think
was your mindset in your 20s and 30s? How did it not manifest?
it it and there was when I moved into the plumbing industry, into the supply industry of it, there was a lot of drinking at the office too. But I I think the turning point was overwhelming, that the fact you got a mortgage, you got payments, you got this, you got that, and you got that. And the drinking the euphoria of the drinking kind of took that pressure off. But unfortunately, it was no better the next morning. The 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 everything about it, around it, didn't go away. It was still there.
So the
So
fact that you didn't have any of these life pressures in your 20s and 30s, the
no,
drinking just remained casual at that point.
it was casual. Let's have some fun. Okay, I got a summer job. Ba ba ba. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't feel that need to have that next beer then, or
No,
whatever it was your drink of choice.
the craving didn't start until marriage, kids, and the type of street I was on. I had to take it to the next level to feel the way I wanted to feel.
That's so interesting because I always thought that when someone becomes an alcoholic or substance abuse, I'm not putting together that this is manifested by stresses in your life. I'm always thinking it's some type of disorder that you have, that not you particularly, but a person has, that they start drinking and then they just need to drink. I was never connecting the dots as to how this amplifies itself.
I had the best growing up a kid could ever have. I was the first grandchild. I had everything. They gave me everything. I went away to a cottage where kids never did. I went up for the summer, had a cottage, boat, skiing, went away to camps. Um, yeah, it manifested at the marriage point of a lot of pressure, I guess, and it just went further on and it kept going. Then I was into a situation where, yeah, I needed to have a drink. I needed that drink. The craving was incredible in my body. I had no choice but to find it in bushes. I used to hide bottles in the garage, used to hide bottles in the bushes in the back garden shed. It's just if I ran out, I'd be looking everywhere for it.
Can you look back, Bill, and think to yourself that can you pinpoint when you realized in your head that the you weren't in control of the alcohol, but it was now taking control of you? Can you pinpoint that?
Yeah, I was in Streetsville, and I was my wife said we'd had enough. You better leave. I never was abusive. I was you could consider me a happy drunk. I just like to drink, okay? And I didn't know when to stop. It took me to places I didn't want to be. I met people who I didn't want to associate with. And yeah, um, after I left my family and moved to Streetsville, I moved into a bungalow and the drinking continued. I saw my kids whenever I could, weekends or whenever. And I'm going to tell the listeners a little story about how I hit my bottom. Whether you believe this or not, it's my story. And it happened to me. And I'll stack of Bibles, I'll put my hand on. It's what happened to me. I was in my bedroom in my bungalow in Streetsville one night, all alone. I had a lot to drink that day. I was in a corner, in a ball, crying and asking for help. I don't know what happened, but something said to me inside me, or I heard something, and I know it's crazy. Something said to me, Bill, you have to stop drinking. And that was it. And I blacked out. Woke up the next day, continued to drink.
Bill, you said that you left your family, you went to Streetsville.
Yes.
Um, so at this point, you said you left your family. You're meaning that you've separated from your family. That's
Yeah. Yes.
because of the
Now,
drinking.
because of the drinking. Then I thought, oh, this is great. I can drink more now. I don't have to hide it anymore. I don't have to people looking at me always thinking the people are looking at you. And in fact, this was the start of my recovery. How ironic is that? And I tell that story. I woke up the next day drinking, got onto the phone to a friend of mine who I used to drink with, who got involved in AA. And I said to him, I need help. And he said, Bill, I was waiting for your call, because he was one of the gentlemen that told me at parties that I drank too much.
Bill, let me
And
ask you this. Um, can you cite some examples of that period where you were drinking heavily, um, that made you realize, besides the fact that, hey, I mean, you mentioned one thing earlier where you said you're you have a bottle of alcohol and your
Mhm.
decision is, do I drink this today? Or do
Yep,
I wait till Monday, or do I wait till Sunday because the liquor store or beer store, wherever you get alcohol, is closed
they
on
weren't open.
Sunday?
They weren't
Yeah.
open.
So, like, before we get into your recovery, your rehab, and all that, I just want to learn more about
The
your.
mindset, the mindset at that point
Hmm.
is still, I don't have a problem. Everybody drinks like that. I was in the beer store one day in Streetsville. There was 4 guys ahead of me. One guy goes up in a big lineup. It's hot. It's 85 degrees out. I got enough money to buy a case of beer, and I'm dying for a beer. Like, I'm going to push these guys out of the way. I am craving so badly for the beer. A guy's up there, and the lineup's out the door, and a guy comes out with a 6-pack. I walked up to the guy and I says, "Are you out of your mind? We're lined up out here and you buy a 6-pack? At least come out with 48, please. You're killing me." But at that point in my life, my mindset was alcohol, strictly alcohol. And no, I don't drink that much. You leave me alone. I'm fine. Leave me alone. You can't, you can't tell me that I have a drinking problem. That's how the mind works. That's how my
So
mind.
I remember one time we had a this came up in conversation. I don't know where we were or whatever, but this came up in conversation, and I remember you telling me that it was so bad at some point that when you took your kids for the weekend and you would go to a beach, you remember that story?
Yeah,
Yeah, tell me about that because I remember it vaguely, but tell me about that because when you told me that, I was thinking to myself, wow, that's you definitely have to be in the throes of addiction to have your mind think this way.
exactly. We used to go camping a lot. At this point in time, my wife and I were separated. She was seeing another gentleman. I was on my own. I just wanted to see the kids. That's all I wanted. Just let's the kids, me and you. I don't want to talk to her. She thinks I got a problem. I don't have a problem. They're all nuts. The kids, fortunately, my 2 kids stood me 1,000%, even though I had an addiction. And I shake today, even sometimes thinking that I was in the car with those kids and I was intoxicated completely. We used to go camping a lot. We get to the campsite, we get it set up. I'd have enough just to get me by. The next day, I got to go. I always camped near a town that I knew had a liquor store. That's how your mind thinks. I know, it's sickening. It's a sickness. But at that point in time, I wasn't sick. The next day, I would get up, have the kids. Okay, Dad, take us down. We want to go to the beach. Okay, I'd take you to the beach. I used to go up to strangers who I'd never met before in my whole life and say to them, I just got to nip into town to pick up some craft dinner for the kids for lunch or dinner. Do you mind watching my kids in the water? My kids are with strangers in the water, and I'm in town buying liquor, not craft dinner, buying liquor, hoping the car doesn't break down on the way, hoping I don't get pulled over because I've already been drinking in the morning by OPP, and hopefully I can get back to my kids safely and go, got my booze. Now I'm good for the day. Oh, and how are they? Oh, you have wonderful kids. Now, look back on that that is a very, very bad sickness that you would entrust your children with strangers you don't even know. My kids could have drowned. And yeah, and how can you live with something like that? You can't. You
Yeah. So
can't.
your life at that moment was thin ice, minute by minute.
It was. I needed the booze. I needed that drink every day to to start.
Did you have a drink of choice, Bill?
I actually kind of I like vodka, straight vodka out of the bottle. Yeah, it's until I had that bottom and I spoke to my sponsor who has passed away from cancer. Yeah. Today, what's my life? My life is like today.
Wait, hold on. Before we get to today, Bill, because we're still going to get into your rehab, but
Okay.
let me ask you, why did you just like the taste of vodka, or did you drink vodka specifically for a reason? Why was
It
it
gave
not beer? Why was it not?
it gave me what I wanted. It gave me that feeling. As soon as I put that vodka down, it was going down into my stomach. It was like my hair let down. I was, oh, this, I'm back. I'm fine.
So you weren't like that if you drank beer?
Uh, no, I was never much of a, well, no, it still gave me the same feeling, but it's, it's how the vodka gave me yeah, it gets there quick. And yeah, this is good. I feel better. Yeah. It calmed me down. Yeah, it was, it was quicker. It gave me it took away the aches, the pain, the sickness. It made it better.
So it was just for no really particular reason. You just vodka was your drink. That's all.
That's it.
And
Yeah.
would you drink during the day?
Yeah.
Because you were working,
In the morning. Oh, I drink before I go to work.
not at work.
At the start, we used to drink at work, and then I used to go out at lunch and drink in the car. you, it's an alcoholic mind, and you need that. And I keep mentioning you need that craving has to. The craving it's insatiable. It's insatiable.
Hmm. It's so
And
interesting.
I
And
didn't, and nobody could understand how I felt inside. Nobody. I couldn't talk to my family. I couldn't talk to my friends. I couldn't talk to anybody. Nobody knew how I felt inside. And I couldn't express myself enough to people that this is how I felt.
so do you think it's a common, is that a pretty typical feeling for somebody to
Yeah.
feel, I'm going to
Yeah.
say alone.
Yes, it
I
is.
don't know if that's the right word.
I've sponsored a lot of people and yeah,
So
I,
that's the common thing is you
I
feel
thought,
alone.
yes, I thought I was the only guy with a problem like I had, the way I felt, and nobody can talk me off the shelf. I'm sorry. You guys are all liars. There's no reason why you should why are you picking on me? You drink. Well, yeah, but you drink once. Just, just leave me alone. Everything's going to be fine. When in fact, things got worse.
Yeah. I'm so intrigued by what you said earlier, because you said that it's not the fact that you can have a sip of vodka and I can have a sip of vodka, but it's
Yeah.
how you perceive the vodka compared to me. It's
You can have,
your
yeah, you can have one sip of vodka and put it down and walk away and go and start drinking water the rest of the night. I drink a sip of vodka. I got to finish that bottle. And if you got another one in the house, we might as well go through that one too. It's the craving. Once I start, I'm this far away, my arm, I'm this far away from a drink. It's the craving. And like I mentioned before, the liquor and beer stores were closed on Sunday. You'd be the first guy. I haven't talked to Al in a while. Al's got beer in the house. This is how you think as an alcoholic mind. Al's got beer or liquor in the house. I'm going to phone Al up and say, Al, it's Bill. I haven't seen you for a while. And hopefully you're going to say to me, Bill, why don't you come on over for a beer? That is like, you just made my day.
so,
The
so you
sky's
set
open.
it up.
the skies opened up and you're my best friend.
Yeah.
I drink
You
that
set
beer.
up that conversation.
Well, exactly. And hopefully you're going to keep offering me more beer. It won't be fast enough, but at least I can get my fix. And that's how my life went near the end till I hit my bottom and found out that, Bill, you got a problem. I told you I talked to my friend, Burke K. He took me to my first AA meeting in Mississauga. I went down the set of stairs in a church, and the guy at the bottom said to me, "Hi, Bill. My name is Joe A. I am an alcoholic. Come on in, sit down, grab a cup of coffee. We know exactly how you feel." I almost fell over. And I looked in the room. There was 75 other people in that room, in that church basement, that knew exactly how I felt. And I never looked back. And it'll be 30 years, September 17th. I took my last drink September 17th, 1996. I never looked back.
So, Bill, your days of excessive drinking or having this
Yes,
mindset of being an alcoholic,
yes.
I'm going to say just by the numbers there that it wasn't too many years that you were like this.
I'm going to say, well, I'm going to say a good 10 years. I know it. I rushed it a bit to the end, but prior to that, prior to the marriage, we were drinking pretty good. We were drinking pretty good, and it was always available. So I didn't feel like I had a problem.
So
But
it was building before you got married.
absolutely,
And then the
absolutely,
stresses of you getting married are kind of what tipped you over.
the
Like
premise,
the stresses of a family and life and everything else.
age was set to when I got there. I needed that drink. It's it was a cancer. I'm sorry that I have to preface it that way, but I know I see what cancer patients go through, but it was my cancer, and it was a monkey on my back, and the craving and the pain coming off of it was insatiable. It was horrible. I was drinking one day and I stopped the next. I spoke to a few physicians. I was in a CAMH program for 28 days. My sponsor sent me down there, met a lot of great people. The doctors told me I was lucky that I didn't have a complete stroke, a cardiac arrest, because I stopped. I was drinking then. The body didn't have that stimulation of the alcohol, that I just stopped one day and I never looked back.
When you were
They
at
said
your peak of drinking,
I was.
yeah, when you were at your peak, was this a daily thing or was this something that you drank and when you drank, you just drank a lot?
It was a daily steady drinking, a daily up in the morning, have a drink, make some breakfast, do whatever, go to work, go to the car at lunch, have a drink. Um, After work, go down to their local pub and have a drink. Bill, come on in. How are you doing? Stay till whenever, depending on who was there and who was buying. Yeah, it was a rocky road, and the recovery was incredible. I got involved. I became a secretary in our group. I helped people. Some people didn't get it. Some people got it. And everything that's happened to me since I've been in a program and I haven't had a drink, everything that's happened to me, I've met better people. Things have happened to me again that I never thought would ever happen again. I reconnected with Carol, who I live with now. We worked for 40 years ago. We worked together, and we went our separate ways, and we came back together. It just happened. So I've met good people like yourself, like everybody around me now are good people. The drinking people, not so good. And I never knew where I ended up after I took my drink. I could have ended up downtown, over here, over there, somebody's house. What am I doing here? It's
I
my
find it
life.
so interesting when you're telling me about the people that you associate with because you could correct me if I'm wrong, but when you're in that zone of drinking and at that time, were you seeking out people who would, I'm not going to say encourage you, but people who would not give you a hard time about it? Were you just seeking out that crowd?
It
Like,
just
hey, I
the
go to the
crowd.
bar and I meet somebody and they're drinking and I'm drinking, so we're buddies.
Yeah. What's wrong with that? This is a great life. Cold beer in front of me, wings, talking to 10 people that are there mostly every day. Bill, come on in. How are you today? What's going on? How's the family? Da, 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 da. Let me buy you a beer.
So you're talking about things that normal, regular everyday people talk about, except you're doing it with the acceptance of a lot of drinking.
Yeah, that was my thing. And I felt good. Had a good job. What could be wrong?
Did it ever affect your job?
Did what?
Did it
No,
ever affect your job?
it's a good point. And I meant to touch on that point. I worked for my uncle. There was a lot of drinking after work, so it didn't affect. And at that point in time, I could take it or leave it. Da da da. But the years when I was in the supply business end of it, I don't know. My boss, I did a great job, and he just seemed to be there for me. And finally, at the end, he said, "Bill, we've got creditors phoning the office, and I don't like it because it's my business, and I don't run my business like this. You either get rid of them, or you come into my office. We're going to sit down. You're going to figure out how much you owe these guys, and I'm going to pay them off for you. I'm going to get rid of them, and then you are going to go get help."
Our sponsor for today's episode comes from Audrey Souza, a licensed insurance advisor dedicated to helping families stay financially supported through life's toughest moments. From life and critical illness insurance to long-term financial protection, Audrey works with clients across Toronto and Southern Ontario to create personalized plans that bring peace of mind today and security tomorrow. You can learn more by reaching out on Instagram at Audrey Souza Insurance or by email at audrey.souza@dfsin.ca. That's audrey.souza@dfsin.ca, because your family's future deserves more than what ifs. So you're married at this point.
I'm married at this point.
Yeah.
I'm going to my other uncle for money, to borrow money. Not once, not twice, 3 times. Oh, and don't forget to take your kids with you because, Doug, I need help. The kids, da da da. The last time I went, he said, "Bill, I'm going to help you the last time. You either get help or I can't help you anymore." And my boss said that to me. He helped me. I went and got help. Something happened that night. I hit my bottom and I phoned and got help. Somebody's looking after me up there. I know it because I didn't injure my kids at all by driving drunk all the time. Christ, I went to, here's a good example of a story I remember. I was married and my younger daughter, we went down to Arrow Mills Town Center. We went in, ice cream, we're on the thing, we're having fun, buying her clothes. I come out, I can't find the goddamn car. I can't find it. And I'm walking around with my daughter and I'm going, and she looks at me and goes, "Dad, can you find the car?" I go, "Yeah, I know where it is. We're just walking around a bit. Let's go back in. I've got to go to the bathroom." I had to go back into the mall, redo my steps, and go back out and find the car. I guess at that point, I was starting to think, maybe I got a problem. maybe. Not quite, but maybe.
So the thoughts are
Uh,
creeping in your head at that point.
it's creeping in, but no, I'm fine.
It
Did
wasn't enough.
one incident. Okay, so there's a lot of cars in the parking lot.
You
How
said
can I?
something that you were mentioning that you had creditors calling your work and there was some financial issues. And you also said that you were married at that time. Is this
Yes.
because of the booze?
Yeah, it was about 90% of the part that, you get paying bills and stuff is irrelevant at that time. I gotta have my drink first. I
So
got,
your priorities were basically flipped upside down. That's
absolutely. I'm going down the street in Streetsville. I'm on I have no gas in the car. I got $20 in my wallet and I got to get to work the next day. I don't even know if I'm going to get there because the car's on empty. I go past the beer store. Oh, do I buy beer or do I buy gas? 99.9% I would get the beer. And that's how an alcoholic mind thinks for me. And that's the way it went till I got into the program and things turned around like, why did I do that? And we at AA, we have closed meetings where everybody can share and everybody speaks if they've got a problem. Al, how do you feel tonight? Oh, Bill, I'm okay. Just okay? Well, yeah, I've had a problem at home and something cropped up and I felt like I had to take a drink to get rid of it. Well, you know what, Al? That problem's going to be there tomorrow, you know. And in the program, you talk about it, you help people, you have support. Um,
how did you
it's a,
feel, Bill, on your first day going in there?
um,
So you walk in your first day, you're coming
uh,
off of
here,
the
here's
throes
an
of
example.
yeah, you're well, let me just finish here. You're coming off the throes of I need a drink every single day. And you hit rock bottom because you just told me that you were sitting in a room by yourself crying in some house that
Yep,
you were renting.
yep.
How did you feel walking into that place the first day?
Scared, um, not believing. We sat down. A guy got up and spoke, and he said, I haven't had a drink in 20 years. I stood up and called him a liar. I couldn't get past 1 minute of the day. As soon as I woke up in the morning, the first thing I thought about was, where do I get my first drink? It's the first thing I thought about. Not how you doing, how the kids are doing. That's the first thing I thought about. And he said, sit down, listen, stay a while, and you'll get better. And that's what happened. I got involved. I became secretary. Used to go to the AA conferences downtown, listen to speakers. Speakers all over the world come. It's a great feeling. It's a great life that I live today.
Did you have to do a detox when you were in
I my sponsor suggested that I go there just to listen and yeah, a little bit of detox too. Yeah, just listen, and they took me off slowly with medication and stuff. But I I was ready to give up. I was ready to listen. It's time to listen.
I'm
Sit
thinking back.
down.
Yeah, I'm thinking back right now, Bill. I know I keep going back, but I'm thinking back to you being married with kids and drinking and wanting a drink as soon as you get up in the morning. Were you doing that out in the open at home? Like, you had a wife at that time.
I was
Was
hiding
this
it.
accepted at your house that you were just drinking and it was just normal?
At that point, I was hiding it.
Okay.
It was hidden. It was in the garage. It was in bushes. It was in the garden shed. It was in the trunk of the car.
So this was causing problems for you, obviously, at home,
Absolutely.
and that's why you
Yep.
started.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I look up at it today. and my kids are still here. You know, it was, I'm better. And everybody around me realizes that I'm better. And yeah, I don't, I don't, I tell the truth now. No reason to lie anymore. No reason to steal, yeah, it's, for those out there, it's a wonderful life.
How much of
And
an issue was it, to be lying? Like, was that pretty common
oh
at that
yeah,
time?
the problem with lying is though, I told so many lies that the lie I told before, I forgot that I told that lie, and well, didn't you tell that before? Oh yeah, sorry. You had to keep backing up to cover up the lies because you forgot how you lied the first time.
Now, these lies are all revolved around drinking?
Yes. Yep. Excuses, lies, and excuses.
I mean, when you
It's
say excuses, you mean like, are you telling people, "No, I didn't drink today." Is
yeah.
that yeah, okay.
How many drinks did you have today? Oh, one or two. One or two. That's that's the norm for alcohol. How many drinks have you had today? Oh, one or two.
So
Never charge.
you're picking up signs, like, right now, you could pick up signs if somebody's an alcoholic, like, can you see it? It could be much
Yeah.
more difficult for me to see it than probably you, I would imagine.
Well, yeah, but I don't look for that. Like that's not. No, everybody. I yeah. I no. I had a problem. Believe me, I had a problem. When you got to get up in the morning, you put your feet on the ground. The first thing you think about is, where am I going to get my first drink? You got a problem. Big problem.
Did you go to bed like that as well?
No, it was fine going to bed, passed out or whatever.
Right. So it's in the morning because you haven't had alcohol for a bunch of hours, so you get up in the morning and that's what you're looking
That's it.
for.
We had some great stories in AA and groups. Had one guy, Bill, I used to drink Aquavelva, but it gave me heartburn. You
Okay,
know,
well,
Aquavelva gave me heartburn.
that's a
So
mouthwash, isn't it?
that's it. Sure. Now, if you look, they got mouthwashes with no non-alcohol and stuff like that. But
So they were drinking it for the alcohol content?
yeah, to get that feeling, it's the feeling I got from alcohol that made me, yeah, no, now I feel better. The worries of this, the worries of that, all this. Yeah.
So
So today,
do you think most people become engulfed in this alcohol abuse because of stresses? Because there's a lot of people who are have everyday normal stresses in life and come home and have a glass of wine or something. What's the difference?
well, it's just the fact that they don't sit down and they can leave that. Like I go to people's houses or whatever for dinner and stuff, and I'll have a beer, and then some people don't even finish it. Are you out of your mind? I used to sit there and think, "Well, you shouldn't be drinking if you don't finish it." But it's just, it's just the way you're built, I guess. And the way I was built from the early days of drinking to the middle days to the up to the end of the days, it just, for me, as an alcoholic, progressed. And that's basically all I can say. And it got me into a lot of trouble. And then I was fortunate to find help and be the person I am today.
When I met you, Bill, a bunch of years ago, you were married to Diane,
Yes.
and I think you met Diane when you were in treatment.
No, I met
No,
Diane. She worked for the school board, and I used to, at work, phone her for purchase order numbers for the schools to get plumbing material for it. But I was in the I was in the program when I met Diane And my sponsor said, you really shouldn't get involved with a person when you're trying to recover, because I was just new in the program. I got into the program in September and I met Diane in November. And my sponsor suggested that ease up on the relationship. As it turned out, she got more involved, and yeah, she was right. We should go to meetings together. They thought she was an alcoholic. She was there so much.
She went with you to the meetings.
Every meeting helped me
I
make
think that's
sense.
where I was confused because I remember her, or I remember you guys telling me about her being at the meetings.
Yeah, and she used to have her glass of wine and stuff, and it didn't bother me at all. That's fine, whatever. But she used to go to all the meetings. She used to help out in the kitchen. Yeah. Um, we moved up here, and I got away from the group. So sometimes I've been trying to find out where I can go around here. We can go to a meeting and stuff. But I have my books. I have my big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. It's the big book, keeps me in line. If I have a problem or the day doesn't go so good, I can go to my book and read it, and that takes the edge off. I don't think about alcohol anymore. It's I just don't think about it. It's
How
not
long were
even
you in rehab, Bill?
28 days.
A month.
Yeah. Good
That's
people, good
so when you're there,
conversation.
you're on site the whole time?
Yep. They have beds for you, 28 days. Good conversation, good people, doctors that, yeah, they're there to support you. And yeah, it's
Some people that some people have an issue or a concern about going to these places to get help because they're really expensive. And that's something you hear a lot. Is
didn't
that
cost didn't cost me anything.
okay?
I went there and yeah, book in, welcome. We're going to get you better. We're going to have talk a lot of meetings, a lot of circle talk. How do you feel today, Bill? Oh, not so good. Why? What's the problem? You talk it out. You talk to people. People engage with you. You make friends. Um, yeah, it's all part of recovery. And unfortunately, some people don't get it and go back out. That's It's just the way it is. Some people, I was fortunate, I was lucky, I got it, and I'll never look back. To the day I die, I'll
Can
never look.
can you tell me a couple of things? So you're there for 28 days nonstop, a whole month.
Mhm.
What is a typical day? I mean, you just mentioned that, you guys would do circle conversations and you would chat, but
There's
what would
chat.
yeah,
They
what would a
put
day be like in a place like this?
You get up in the morning, you have a nice bed, you wash, you shower, whatever. You go down for your breakfast. They post on the board what there's Doctor So and So's circle conversation today is in room 26, or you can pick your day, or there's swimming athletics today. Yeah, you just pick, and you have kind of a counselor there that says, Bill, I think this meeting will be good for you. You should sign up for this one, or yeah. And it's just a general, not a pressure play. It's just, yeah,
So
it's
they're
just
filling your days with activities.
absolutely, absolutely. And asking and making sure that you're physically healthy, because alcohol can kill you. If very abusive alcohol, it'll kill you. It affects certain areas of your body that if you don't be careful, like you can, as average social drinker, it's fine. It's it's when you get in, and I was into abusive drinking, but you couldn't tell me that. You couldn't tell me that, Al. No, I could sit down for 2 hours and you say, Bill, you drink too much. And this is why you're causing problems. I know, I know, I know. As soon as I left your house, I go down to the bar and have a just for me, it just one night I was fortunate, and I can't. That's all I can say is you can believe. They can say, "Oh, that's horseshit." You don't hear spirits or you don't hear this shit. Well, something said to me or something got into me and said, I dreamt it or something said, you got to stop drinking.
What was it that day, Bill? Because you said you were by yourself. So it's not like you were having a conversation with somebody. What was
Yeah.
it that day that do you remember your events that day?
Yeah. I wasn't going to work. I was staying at home. Drapes are all closed.
You
And
said you weren't
everything.
going to work because it was a weekend, or you just took the day off of work because you wanted to drink?
No, I just didn't show up. I used to go binge drinking. I wouldn't show up for 2 or 3 weeks. To be asking, where's Bill? Where's Bill? Well, I don't know. My boss knew where I was. He came out and talked to me, knocked the door down. You got to get back to work. You got to get better. What's wrong? Can I help you? What do you need? We're here for you. Get your shit together. But uh, until that moment, yeah, I don't know what to say. I dreamt it, I guess. But the next day, got on the phoned my sponsor, and I got better. Never looked back.
And how
I
did you know this sponsor?
I used to drink with him. Good neighbor on the street. We used to drink together. And then one day, I never saw him for like 6 months, a year. And he came to the house one day and he says, Bill, I have to tell you something. I had a problem with alcohol and I've joined Alcoholics Anonymous. You know what I said to him? Oh, I don't have a problem. I'm fine. He says, yeah, I know. But the day I called him, he says, I was waiting for your call. It's the denial in alcoholism. It's, yeah, you're wrong. I'm right. End of story. You cannot talk me, like I mentioned before, off the shelf, Al. There's nothing wrong with my drinking. Nothing.
Yeah, would it make you angry when somebody said that to you? Because you must have heard it a few times.
I never was angry and I never hurt anybody. I never got in fights in bars. I used to sit there with a friend of mine drinking, and my friend would look at this guy and he'd go, that guy's looking at me. I said, Frank, he's not looking at you. Yeah, I'm going over to talk to him. I said, Frank, don't do that. He'd go over and start talking to the guy. I go, Frank, come on. The guy, I'd take him away, and the guy would get up and he'd come to me and he says, you're okay. If he comes over again, I'm going to knock his brains out. Okay? So just keep him at bay. I was never, I never hurt anybody. I was never silly throwing ball. No, I just drank too much and I couldn't get enough of it. And I guess until I passed out or blacked out, I had a few blackouts, I could control it, or I thought I could anyway. So,
When you were by yourself, Bill, after you separated from your wife, did you end up at home every night? Because the common thing that I hear with people with addiction, whether it's alcohol or substance abuse, is that sometimes you don't end up at home.
oh
Was,
yeah.
was that your case?
Oh yeah. Sometimes I would drink at bars and then next thing I know, I'm downtown. Like, how the fuck did I get here? Or sorry, my language. How did I get here? And how did I get home? Come home one night and park the car on the lawn. Get up the next day and my wife says, the car's on the lawn. What time did you come in last night? Used to come in with Kentucky Fried Chicken for the kids. Wake them up at 1 a.m. Look what I've done for you, kids. Look. Terrible.
So your mind obviously was just not rational at that point.
Very unrational. Very, not even, no. Is all I'm thinking about is hopefully I can get a drink tomorrow, and hopefully it doesn't take me to a bad place or hurt anybody or whatever.
Were you thinking that at the time?
At the end, I was. At the end, I was. I didn't want to hurt anybody,
Right. So
and I
when you
never
were
did.
in the climax of it, that didn't
Yeah,
cross your mind.
Yeah, well, yeah. No, it
It was
just
just day by day, sounds like.
day by day drinking. Fortunately, my boss understood, got me help, helped me out, and yeah, it was a circle and circle and circle, and the craving and the horrible feeling of people looking at you all the time. Well, they're not looking at you. I had to keep going to different liquor stores because I thought if I was there in the morning, I go there in the afternoon, they'd know I'm drinking. The lady said, "Well, you were here in the morning." That's how I thought. So I used to drive 10 miles to another liquor store so they wouldn't know me. That's how you think. And it's it's a sickness. And unfortunately, like I mentioned before, some people get it, some people don't get it. And the ones that, and I'm fortunate that I got it. And I think whoever is up there, that you saved my life. Really did. Saved my life. It saved my family, everybody around me.
Yeah, you're close with your kids today.
I'm very close with my kid, and they stayed with me through the whole issue. The whole issue. They stayed with me.
How old were they at that time?
Um, 8 and 4, I'm gonna say. Ryan was about 4 when I left the house. Yeah, he was about 4. Yeah, it was a Sunday morning, 11 o'clock in the morning. I left. Not a happy day. Not a happy day. But um, that was then. This is now, and I'm very very thankful for the way it is today. You have I have I can't say enough of what the program, people around me. It's phenomenal. I
How
met
long has it been now, Bill, since you stopped drinking? Since you went to the program, how long have you been clean?
be 30 years September.
Wow, good for you.
I live in a beautiful home now. I would never thought I'd end up where I am. I had a beautiful home before. I have beautiful friends around me now that I guess respect me because I respect them. I can go to them. I can talk. Um, People invite me to things now where before, Christ, don't invite Bill. He's going to drink. He's going to drink you. It's going to be bad. He's going to cause a scene or something. We don't know. But now I can't say enough for the program, for speaking about it, and just people. The people like I mentioned before, the people I used to associate, the people that are around me now, you can't you can't ask for that in words. I it's like I told you before. That guy's an alcoholic. He drinks a lot. Well, yeah, he drinks a lot, but I know people that have 2 beers and are ready to jump off a bridge. So it's not, again, not how much you drink, it's how it affects you when it gets in you and where it takes you to. So, in that, I am grateful that I do not have to drink to get through a day. And I can't, I've been through a divorce, a death, or two. My mother passed. So I can't imagine what would make me pick up a drink today. It's, it's that instilled in me now, the whole program and the people around me that I can't, I don't know what, I don't know what would happen. It just wouldn't happen. I know it. I
Yeah,
am
you're
that
in such a good place right now that
exactly.
doesn't matter what stresses life throws at you.
It doesn't matter.
You've been through enough of them to know I'm way beyond that.
This is nothing. You know, you
You
think you've
mentioned
got,
that you said that you had sponsored about 10 people?
yeah,
So these are people that obviously were
came
Where,
into the group. They came into the group, young people, older
yeah,
people, that that I felt that day I walked in. Stay a while, have a cup of coffee, and I know exactly how you feel. Well, nobody knew how I felt. Nobody. I couldn't talk to my family. I couldn't talk to my friends. I couldn't talk to anybody. Nobody knew how I felt. Nobody. And until I went to that meeting and saw those 75 people in that room, and I sat there and listened, and I told the guy, "There's no way you got to be lying." He says, "Stay a while, learn, keep your ears open, and you're gonna. If you get it, you get it, and you're gonna stay a while."
yeah, I find it so
Not
interesting.
only me to go there, it's to help the other guy come in and stay. You know, it's
Yeah, so you're giving back to your community.
my community and giving back to the person who wants to get the monkey off and wants to be recovered in the program. There's some great speakers in AA. You go down to I used to go down to the Ontario Regional Conference at the hotel down in Toronto, and there were speakers all over the world that came to talk. Doctors, lawyers, dentists, um, executives, all had drinking problems, and their message, you have no words to listen to these people and their story and how they got there. It's incredible, and how they've recovered, and they're passing the message on to lots of people.
You have doctors, lawyers, dentists, and all these people. They're coming in and they're part of the program. They're not just, I mean, they're
Well,
there to share their story because they went through what you went through.
absolutely. Some different, some less, some ended up um, Skid Row. We had a guy in our group, a lawyer downtown, big defense lawyer, ended up on Skid Row. And for an alcoholic on Skid Row, it's not a safe place because you don't share your bottle. And if you don't share your bottle on Skid Row, somebody's going to put a knife in your back because they want your bottle. And an alcoholic will not give up his bottle if he's craving for alcohol. So Skid Row for alcoholics, not a good spot. Not a good spot. So these are stories that people give. We used to go down to the homeless shelters and give out turkeys every year and help the homeless. Um, yeah, it's about giving back. But I got the program. Some people don't get it, and it's if you don't get it, you just don't get it. So, for me, as a recovering alcoholic, thank you, everybody, thank you. I, yeah, you know, you're going to get a flat in the car one day. The car is going to break down. Shit happens in life, and it's about how we're taught to deal with life and how you get along with life without alcohol. The
Yeah,
way
I
I
think the
drink.
person that you should be
You know,
thanking, Bill, is yourself because you're the biggest. I mean, it was really you that did it all.
I
You're
was
a
an
success story.
I was an abusive drinker. There's people out there. I don't want to generalize. There's people out there who social drinker. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with having a drink or two. Whatever. It's fine. I was an abusive drinker, and it caused a lot of problems in my life.
You couldn't turn
And
it on and off.
you can't. It was always on. You were always, yeah. It's I just can't say enough the way I am today.
What is
Basic.
it that you see today differently? Because I'm sure you appreciate life or see life in a completely different manner.
Oh, absolutely. I'm calm. I try to be most. Sometimes you get a little pissed off with shit, and yeah, but I just live, let it come at me. Like I said before, everything I have today from September 17, 1996, when I got dry, everything that's happened since then to me has been nothing but one better thing after another.
So the universe is just rewarding you with positivity.
Something is. Absolutely. Something is. Somebody up there, when I was drinking and driving, I got stopped twice, let go twice, and never got charged, never hurt anybody, never killed my children in the car. Not just if I didn't hit him, if I used to get in, I used to think, gee, if I get in an accident and the other person hits me and they figure, okay, we'll have to charge this gentleman. Oh, and by the way, have you been drinking, sir? Well, you better come with me. So,
Did you just say you got stopped twice? You're talking about by the police,
yeah,
and you got let go.
spot check. Yep, twice. Big spot check, twice. Once the rookie cop couldn't get, I was blowing into the breathalyzer and it wasn't for, and this could have been up from up above again, wasn't registering. And I said to the guy, look, I'm going to pass out in a minute. And then the guy running the whole thing, the sergeant came in and he goes, what's going on here? I says, well, the officer keeps wanting me to blow into this thing and nothing's happening. And the sergeant says, have you had a drink today? And like I said before, yes, I've had a couple. I had a couple. That was the norm. He says, where do you live? I says, just around the corner. Okay, go. Just make sure you drive home. And the same thing happened before. I got stopped going under a bridge. A bunch of kids in a Mustang were in front of me, about 6 of them in there. They're all falling out of the car. The guy comes around. He says, have you been drinking, sir? He says, yeah, I've had a couple. And he keeps looking at the kids in the Mustang. He goes, are you okay? Are you impaired? Or he says, no, I told you. And I got to go look after these guys. There's something going on here. Just drive nicely and go away. I don't think that'll happen today. Back then, maybe it was different, but I was let go twice.
Yeah, there was a lot more leniency back then.
I got stopped for a taillight out once. Oh, and by the way, have you been drinking, sir? I said, no, I had a couple. I was just going to the store here. Oh, okay. Sure, it's a couple. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to follow you, and just to make sure. And then I pulled in the convenient, and where you went. Waved, gave me the horn, and waved. You don't get that today. So, yeah. Was I lucky? Absolutely.
You had an angel on your shoulder, Bill.
I must have had something because I'm here. Something is looking after me. But this gets better and better. It really does.
It's good. I'm glad that you're enjoying life.
I'm I'm over the moon. The way my life is today, the way I sit here right now, I can't say enough. I'm so over the moon about my life right today without alcohol. It
Yeah.
really is.
I think naturally you just attract different people.
Well, I hope so because, yeah, people, yeah, go ahead and have your social, whatever. That's fine. It doesn't, it doesn't bother me at all. The first Christmas, I go to my brother-in-law's. We're all sitting around the table. Everybody's sitting there, laughing and having fun and looking around on the table. I'm going, there's no wine or liquor or anything on the table. So I stood
That's
up
what
and
it came into your head.
so I stood up and I said, yeah, and yeah. I stood up and said to my brother, where's all the, aren't you guys drinking? What's going on? Aren't you having a toast or what? So we thought, and this was, I'd only been in AA a year in recovery. And they go, well, we thought it wasn't appropriate. I said, come on, guys. Don't do this.
So
Don't
they
do
were doing
this.
it for you.
Yes, don't do this to me. This is ridiculous. You guys are being ridiculous. I have to live my life the way I live it without alcohol, and that's my choice. You guys enjoy.
Yeah,
And
don't change Christmas on my behalf. But I
They've
think
done.
in their mind, everyone was just looking after your best interest.
They were, but you don't have to. You don't have to. No.
Yeah, it would have been a difficult conversation for them to have. So I guess they collectively made that choice. And I
Yeah.
understand.
I said to my mom, "What are you doing?" Well, we just thought it'd be appropriate not to have. No, it's inappropriate not to have it. Get it on the table like every other Christmas we've had. Let's enjoy ourselves.
Did you ever have a moment of relapse or a thought of, yeah, I think I can handle a drink after you left your rehab?
Honestly, never. And
Good for you.
that's being honest. Never. Because if that thought goes into my head, the next thought goes where I was when I was drinking and what it caused. That's the next thought that goes into my head, and it just cancels out everything. I can pinpoint exactly where I was, where I didn't want to be with it, and I go, well, I don't have to worry about it today.
If you had to go back, Bill, and if you had the ability to go back and revisit yourself at your younger days, what age would you go back and what would you tell yourself?
I would say when I first started working, like 16, 17, not to that's a hard question because at that point we all drank, but I never thought of drinking that I needed it. I just drank to get everybody drank. My group we drank.
I think most groups drank.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
But we didn't cause a problem. I did a I did a bit on drugs and stuff, but it didn't do what I felt better having that nice cold draft. So I guess my life was just supposed to go this way, and to change it, maybe, but maybe not. This is the way the pattern was to go.
You ended up where you're supposed to be.
Exactly. And I got a great partner in my life now too. Diane passed, yes. We had a great life too. I have a great life. I have another great life today. Who would thought that I would meet Carol and spend hopefully the rest of my life with her? And yeah, it just keeps like I said, Al, it gets better and better and better. I don't digress of what it just gets better and better.
I'm really glad that everything worked out that way, Bill, and I'm glad that you have that attitude because I think your attitude is really, I'm going to say, you know, when we first started talking, I said that you're the type of person that when I hang out with you and I see you, I know I'm going to leave in a better mood because you're just always in a good mood. I mean, I can joke with you. We can, beat each other up, so to speak, and criticize each other. And you're just always in a good mood.
Well, yeah, no, yeah, but the other day I was trying to get a dish out of the cupboard, and I dropped the dish, and I slammed the cupboard, and Carol goes, "It's okay, it's only a dish, relax." But that
Those are
little,
normal things, though.
well, I guess, but I, yeah, it's normal,
I
but
think those are normal things. I'm not suggesting by any means that you're perfect. I wouldn't blow that much smoke up your butt. I don't
no,
want to be responsible for, an ego that I'm creating here in a complex.
all
That's
I'm
for
saying is,
sure.
today, the way my life is today, it's without the alcohol and taking different things that come at us, family, whatever. We handle it, we talk about it, and it's there the next morning.
The fact that you recognize that and appreciate every day, that in itself is amazing.
You have no idea. I it's It's hard to describe. Excuse me. It's hard to describe. When you're down, you can't go any lower, and you have nowhere to turn, and I can't talk to you. I can't talk to my partners. I can't talk to my family. Where do I turn? Picked up the phone and talked to my sponsor, and boy, we went to every meeting every night.
Do you still have that access today?
Oh yeah, I can go to a meeting anywhere.
And you could pick up the phone and call somebody?
I can go up to Elliston Thursday night to an open meeting. I can't go to their close because I'm not a member of their group. In order to share in a closed meeting and your feelings, you have to be a member of the group. They're always looking for members. My situation was I was with Diane and I moved back to Scarborough from Mississauga, moved back to Scarborough, and I joined a Scarborough group. And I was there for 10 years. And then we moved up here to Tottenham, and it was Friday night, 8 o'clock meeting. And it was so I had to kind of say to them, I think I'm going to find a group up here. I haven't really found a group that I like. But like I said, I have my books. I have my attitude. I'm fine. I'm just, yeah,
Help
it's a
me
great,
understand the point of the group for 10 years. You go to rehab, you're there for 28 days, you leave, you're good. Are
and
you
then
going back to give back? Are you going back just for maintenance?
going back to help the newcomer come in.
Okay, so you're giving back to your community,
Yeah. And
alcoholics. I mean,
I'm
when I
still
say
out of
community,
rehab. I'm still recovering. I've only been in rehab, like I was in it a year, then I went to rehab for 28, then I continued in my group. And yeah, giving back to my group and the more I got involved in my group, the better I felt. Like I felt better rather than just going to the meetings and listening and leaving. That didn't do it for me. And I spoke a lot at different groups. I spoke and told them my story. And yeah, the more I got involved, for me, I'm not talking about anybody else. For me, it helped me to recover and stay focused.
yeah,
Today, I've got
sometimes you hear people say that as a student, you learn one way, but as a teacher teaching that same thing, you're picking up things that you wouldn't have as a student.
absolutely the way I approached my group and my recovery. Fred might not do that. Fred might just want to go to meetings and say, oh, yeah, I go to meetings and I'm not drinking anymore. So I'm not an alcoholic. Well, okay, if you want to accept that, that's fine. For me, that didn't work. I had to go to the meetings, I had to get involved, and I had to give back and share my story with other people and let them know that, yeah, I'm not perfect either.
If
It's the
somebody out
best.
there right now is somebody picks up this podcast and they're listening to your story and they're listening to some of your experiences, I would imagine that a lot of people would be in the same mindset of, I feel alone. What would you say
Absolute.
to those people?
Try to get help. Get a sponsor, get to a meeting, and stay a while. Stay a while. Listen, and help is there.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like life is 100% different when you come out
Carol,
on the other side of that.
Carol and I were going over the big book the other night, and the big book, the gentleman that started it was Bill W. If I get into trouble and I'm at an airport or anywhere, I can pick up the phone at the airport. Over the PA, they'll go, there's a gentleman in gate 4 looking for Bill W. Now that sets off a signal or an alarm that I myself is feeling like he might pick up a drink. So if there's another gentleman in AA that's in that building, they go there and I'll meet them and they'll settle me down. That's how powerful Alcoholics Anonymous works. And I know I keep going on about it, but it saved my life.
That's an incredible support group for sure.
There's no other program like it. You can go up north to Muskoka. You can go to a rehab to help you drink better. Doesn't work. There's no drinking better for me. No such thing as drinking better. Oh, if you go to a party, make sure you only have one drink and then have something to eat and then maybe get into conversation so you forget about drinking or whatever they try to teach you. AA is AA, period. There's nothing like it, no other program like it. There's no other people in it that are like it. If it ain't AA, it ain't AA. And the big book tells you that. The big book was developed to help people, to help others, and stop their alcohol abuse and get a better life.
I wanted to ask you one thing, Bill. When someone is in the midst of this addiction, there's got to be, and I can't really relate because I haven't been there, but there's got to be a stigma attached to them where they become afraid to ask for help, even if they know, listen, I'm struggling. I see myself slipping. I know I've gone too far. I'm leaving my kids at the beach and with strangers, and I'm, going to look for booze. But there's got to be a stigma attached to the whole, I'm an alcoholic. How do you get over that?
That's the thing. You first have to, I guess, for me, hit bottom and realize that, yeah, I do have a problem and I need help. I got to get help. I can't ask you, can't ask my family, can't ask my friends because they don't understand me. All they know is, Bill, you drink too much. But they can't take the ism of alcohol away from me. They can't convince me. I have to, and that's where AA comes in. You have to admit you have a problem, and that's tough. And yes, I was afraid. People are afraid to pick up the phone and let people into their lives, into their inners, and say, "Oh, you must be weak then if you got a problem." Well, 75 other people in that room, when I went down there that night, they thought exactly the way I thought. Same mindset, same everything. So you have to first admit you have a problem and then seek help.
Well, if I could say one thing,
you can pick up the phone and there are people on the end of the phone. They can send people to your house and do a 12-step program and help you get through. It's a fellowship of men and women who
and I
experience.
think you're a testament to the results, the benefits of that program. 100%.
For me, I got it. Fred
Well,
might not.
you took the first step, and I think that's the most important step.
Exactly. That's the key to the whole deal. It's taking the first step and admitting you have a problem and I need help. And then keeping the mindset that we're here to help you. I've had people come into the thing. Oh, yeah, I feel good, but there's too much God stuff in this thing. I'm talking about God this, God help me this. There's no God. Okay, it doesn't have to be God. It could be that chair is your higher power. It could be a flower. It could be a Chesterfield is your higher power. Make that your higher power. It doesn't have to be, oh, there's too much God in AA. There's too much religion. Okay. The big book premises some religion about God and stuff, that God is up there. Whether you believe that or not, that's up to you. If you want a higher power and you pick on the Chesterfield, go for it. long as it keeps you on the tracks and keeps you sober and you believe that, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. That's all.
The fact that you're expressing, some of these deep secrets of yours on a forum like this, it will reach somebody, and I want to thank you for that, Bill.
You
Thank you
might
for.
you might get feedback tonight or next week. Some guy might have picked up the phone and phoned AA. If I get one person, just one person out of a billion people out there that picks up the phone and says, I got a problem, I've done my job. I've
Well,
done
good,
my
good, good for you, Bill.
I've done my job.
And this is what community is about.
Yeah. It's about giving back and helping. I should give back more, but there's another thing in I'm feeling good now. I'm in the spot where I love to be. Again, I'd like everybody around me is good. I love it. Great life. But I've always got to go back to my readings, and you can get your mind can stray, and you get that feeling of, oh, I got this beat. I'm never going to I'm recovering, but I'll never get a cure. It's not a cure, it's recovery. And there's a difference. Okay? There's a difference about recovery and and kicking it. I'll never do that.
Well, I think
I'm going to
I
have that
think at the
ism
end of
in
the
my.
day, people are always working on themselves in some way, shape, or form. And this is just another aspect of that.
That's right. I've always got the ism in me. I've always got that thing in me. But long as I keep on my mindset and my books and people around me, and as soon as I get off the track and I think about where I was and where I am today, it cancels that out completely, and I'm fine. I'm fine. It's a
Well,
great,
your message is a great one.
it's a great, great feeling, and you just can't express it enough. Where I was, where I am today, it's mind-boggling.
Well, I could definitely see the gratitude.
Oh, and I should give back more. I should be going to meetings and helping people, but I do through my books, and I try to try to life comes into it again. Like, it's not all about going to meetings too, but you got to live too. They've given me the tools to go out there now and live. It's like my partner Carol has no vision. You'll hear her story one day down the road, but she's giving back too to her group. It's rather, and it's the same situation that I could have sat on the couch going, boo hoo, boo hoo, why me, why me? Why me? Why me, Bill? Why? No, I got help. I gave back, and same as Carol's giving back, and we're involved in her group. And yeah, it's all about helping, giving back. And I can't do it with alcohol. I can't do it with alcohol. And I've got, again, the tools to keep me in line. And that's makes me a better person.
Well, you have a great perspective on life, and I think that's important.
I, yeah, yeah,
It makes not only you better, but I think it makes the people around you better.
and I used to think, why do you guys live like this? Why don't you have a drink every day? What, how do you get by every day without drinking? Like, what's the matter with you people? I drink, look at me. Yeah, look at me. Look what happened. But yeah, that's the mindset that they teach you to go out with tools.
Well, it's like I
And
said earlier, Bill. You're a success story, and
I I guess I am, but there's a
Not,
lot
not I
more.
guess you are. You're definitely a success story. I mean, success is not just measured by, you know, somebody who, accumulated money. Success is measured in many, many different ways. And success is about, I'm here and I have a goal and I want to improve it. And if you achieve that goal and you're on your way to that goal, that's being successful.
Absolutely.
It's,
Absolutely.
it's not a material thing. It's not a monetary thing. I mean, a lot of it is just a lot of intangibles. And this is 100% one of them. So you're definitely a success story.
I never thought my life would be like this. Never. Just like I mentioned before and before. Everything that's happened to me since 1996, September 17, when I stopped drinking, everything that I've touched and everybody that's been around me, it's getting better and better and better. And again, life comes at you and you can deal with it without alcohol. As long as you have your background and your training and your steps. And it's a great life. Every day is not great, but it's fine. It's no better. I used to get up in the morning. I got a bill and I'd drink. Oh, that bill's gone. It's still there the next day. It's worse. Creditors calling. It gets worse and worse and worse. It doesn't go away. It does not go away. It gets worse and worse, worse.
Yeah,
But
isn't the old saying, I'm going to drink my problems away?
can't do it.
Can't do
Can't.
it.
I couldn't. If you can out there, good for you. But for me, and again, that's my story. It's I feel good about myself. I really do. I'm good in my skin now. I feel good in my skin. There's
Yeah,
not
the
much.
the
There's not much that can harm me now. Not much can happen in my life that I'm gonna say, "Oh shit, I need a drink." No, I can't see it at all.
although some of these stories start off tough and challenging, it's so rewarding to hear people who have come out on the other side of those stories and have a beautiful life like you do. And that's the
Absolutely.
hope.
That's yeah. It's it's a great life. My father used to say, "Bill, it's a great life if you don't weaken." My parents weren't drinkers. They drink on weekends and parties and stuff like that. But I, at that time in my life, it was made me better. I thought, I thought, but in fact, it made me worse. And it got worse and worse and worse
Well,
until
it's like you said earlier, Bill. I mean, things went sideways on you, but you are where you're supposed to be.
I,
And you got here because of, you know, the road that took you here.
yeah, it's great. And for me to sit here in my new place and live where I live before and here and now and up to this area and what it was like before, I thought, there's no way in hell I'm going to end up here. The worst I'm going to end up is in a box in the ditch.
Bill, thank
Anyway,
you so much for sharing your story.
thank you for inviting me into your podcast, and I hope I help somebody out there that